Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Super Bowl 56 preview. I don't know how long we'll go tonight. And listen, it's been a great year. It's been a triumphant year for us. Let's be honest about it. But the Super Bowl always brings a little bit of melancholy for me. The cow is leaving the station, leaving the farm, whatever analogy you want to put. And it does make me feel a little bit melancholy. The Super Bowl has always been like this for me. I don't think I enjoy it as much as other people. Like, I've always kind of felt sad during the Super Bowl weekend build up because the NFL isn't coming back for like 6 months, 4 months. I don't do the calculations in my head, but it doesn't really heat up until like August. So the Super Bowl always has been like a little bit melancholy for me. Luckily, the last 7 or 8 years, the games have been awesome. The games have been just absolutely phenomenal. So that's at least one plus. But yeah, man, the Super Bowl, I don't know if you guys have that feeling, but it always brings a little bit of melancholy for me. What's up, Tasha? What's up, Tasha? Zamora with the super chat. Appreciate it, bro. If you were to guess the score for the Super Bowl, what would you guess it would be? I'm guessing 24-21, 24-21. Or we could see like a 24-13 if the Rams defense plays really well. But if I'm going with an official score, I'm going 24-21. But yeah, man, back to the Super Bowl week. Like, I didn't even watch the Pro Bowl last week. I know some of you degenerates were probably betting the Pro Bowl. I didn't even watch it. I didn't even see the final score. I don't know how it turned out. But I'm not even like a big hate the Pro Bowl guy. But it does come back to what I was saying. It's just like the Super Bowl, it brings a little bit of melancholy to me, if you guys understand that feeling. So let me get to some Patreon questions. This is from Jared Holly. What's up, Jared? Do Brazilians bet on the Super Bowl? A little bit. I don't think there's going to be too many bets. And the next question is, or even watch it. I actually think they got 1 million people watching it last year. Don't quote me, but it will be on ESPN Brazil. I will not be watching that feed, though. I'll be watching on my laptop. I'm like institutionalized. Like, I prefer to watch it on my laptop. And plus, the commentators here, they really, really suck. You don't have a switch to just get the English feed. You unfortunately have to listen to it in Portuguese, like, which is fine. I understand Portuguese, but the announcers are really cringe. Like, they try to make a ton of jokes. Like, they make jokes about players' names. And for me, it's just overall like cornball tier stuff that I just hate. So I won't be watching it on the feed. I'll be watching it on my laptop. And then Jared says, I am with you. LA Rams money line all day. Let's get this money. Yeah, man. I think Cincinnati covers, Rams win. I could see a way where the Rams cover the spread easy, but with the way the Bengals have been pulling magic, pulling rabbits out of the hat, you can't rule anything out, bro, especially with the Bengals. Okay, let me get to another Patreon question. Appreciate all the Patreon subscribers. I've been going hard with the soccer bets. I've been trying to go hard with the soccer bets. We'll at least get to some money, man. Here we go. Dove 10565. Hey, John, I know you like the offshore books. Yeah, I do, man. I love the offshore books. But if you can get DraftKings or FanDuel, you can combine both running backs to rush for over 45 yards for minus 105. And they have a lot of really good deals. Check it out. I have the same thing. Both quarterbacks to throw over 200 yards. It's amazing. Yeah, Dove, I think this is a little bit like I think this is a little bit of, how can I say it, the average Joe's helping us, because there's a lot of money on FanDuel, DraftKings, where like average Joe who's never bet before, they're going to deposit 200 and they're going to just do it recklessly and stupidly. So either way, DraftKings and FanDuel are going to come out ahead. I like that. I do like that. I do like that one. What's up, Lauren? You got to come on. You got to come on today and tell us why the Bengals are going to win. What's up, RG? RG, my man. What's up, man? I'm doing good. How are you doing? I'm going to read this. Eagle Lifer. I just moved to Florida from New York, and considering the fact you moved from New York to Brazil, any tips for how you adjusted to a completely different way of life and scenery, non-sports related? Just curious. Yeah, I actually did the move from New York to Florida and New York to South Carolina in my life for jobs. The first thing I would say is try to get into some sort of activity so you can at least get like a few friends. And I don't know if you're in the dating market, but getting out there helps with the dating market. Or you can use like the Tinder and all that stuff. Although that stuff is like pretty fucking toxic in the year 2021. But yeah, dude, the biggest thing would be to embrace it. And yeah, dude, there's some things in Florida that are going to piss you off. Let's just be realistic about it. I love Florida. I think it's the best state in the United States. But there's going to be some things that piss you off. Like real estate there is really bad, but isn't it bad in all the places in this country? So yeah, man, that would be the first thing. Luckily, you don't have to learn another language, but I spoke Spanish, so it was a smooth transition for me down there. And I went there just so I could teach and coach football. So I at least had a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, it's going to kind of suck. And then another thing, like, bro, don't bring like New York stuff or California stuff to like Florida and South Carolina and Georgia. Like those, there's a reason why people are moving to Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. And there's a reason why people are moving from New York and California. Just try not to bring those attitudes down there. If you know what I'm saying, I'm not even talking fully political. It's just a lot of people in New York and California, they have shit attitudes about things. And they try to like put moral flags over things that really don't need to be talked about or don't need to be moralized, if you know what I'm saying. Just too much of that going on. And I just want to reiterate, there's a reason why people are moving to New York. No, there's a reason people are leaving South Carolina and New York. They already kind of destroyed Texas to people from California. I got a lot of California subscribers. They're all good people, but, you know, the people with California with money, they're just really just snobbish, like assholes, and they try to come in and run shit. And then, you know, Texas will become California, where people are paying like $5,000 for a fucking studio apartment. You know, that's where I'm at. Here we go. Let me get to some more Patreon questions. John, thank you so much. You're the best. I appreciate it, Jerry. I'll see you next year for the NFL for sure. Hopefully sooner. I enjoy you doing your thing very much. Stay well. Thank you, Jerry. Like without you guys, this channel's not possible, man. Like I love all you guys. You guys actually know about football. Another super chat from Zamora. Appreciate the super chat, my man. What you think about OT plus 900 and Aaron Donald to win the MVP? I like the Aaron Donald plus 1600 better than I like the overtime. Like, listen, that's why when I did the post on YouTube, I wanted to think how many of you guys were doing overtime. Like, I don't think the plus 900 is appealing enough. Like if it was plus like 1200 plus 1300, that would somewhat appeal to me. If we're talking overtime, and I get it with the way the Bengals season has went, with how the Rams let teams stay close. Like I understand going for overtime. It's just not a bet I would make. Like if you parlay it with something, then I'm fine with it. But as like a straight out bet, I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. What's up, Tico? Let's get this money, man. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. But like I said, it is kind of like a love-hate relationship. Like, it does make me feel a little bit sad, man, because like the Super Bowl signifies the end of the NFL, and it's not like a 1 month, 2 month, 3 month off season. Dude, we're going to be in for a lot of baseball, a lot of NBA. And even if you guys like those sports, I like soccer, dude, and soccer's literally on every day, and it's fun as fuck to bet. But bro, like, we're gonna miss the NFL like crazy, man. And don't mean to come on here and be dramatic, but let's be honest. Tico, 5 or more touchdowns. Oh, that's a hard one. I think there's going to be 4. I would go under. I would go under, especially with. I think McVay clamps up a little bit in the red zone, and the Bengals already don't have a good red zone offense. And then how much time can Burrow get to scan the field with Von Miller and Aaron Donald and Floyd coming at a weak offensive line? I would go under. I think it's going to be like 4, bro. Sounds good. I'll be here, Lauren. I'll be here. Yeah, dude. But Eagle, dude, you're gonna like it, man. I think you're gonna like it. Florida's awesome. I don't know what part of Florida you're moving to, but everything's like a close drive. So if you got your car game on, you'll be good. Dude, Florida's awesome, man. Like, I'm excited for you. I think you're gonna like it a lot, bro. And people are like really good down there. Like, Florida gets a bad reputation. You think of the trailer parks, you think of like gangs in Jacksonville, and it gets a really bad rap. You think of like meth and stuff, and like Florida's not a good place to be if you have like an addiction. But other than that, man, Florida is king. Florida is like the avant-garde of America, man. And, everyone acts like it's like all like hillbillies and stuff and old people. Dude, the old people are going to be annoying. The driving's going to be a little bit annoying, but you'll deal with it. If you're in a smaller city, bro, you're going to be rolling. But yeah, the old people clog up the fucking big cities. And I got a lot of friends down there if you ever need anything. Rob Sanchez. Hey, I think the Rams are going to have Joe Burrow run around with his head chopped off by Kansas City. Yeah, Rob, I actually see this. Like, you never want to call Kansas City really didn't bring a game to Tampa, and you don't want to say that about Cincy, but aren't we kind of seeing the same matchup with it? And, it was cute beating the Titans, giving up 8-9 sacks, but is that a feasible option? Is that a good game plan? Is that a way to win games at a high level in this league? I don't think so. Defer says Bengals money line plus 170. Pumping it, bro. Pumping it. I won't be pumping that. Daniel on Patreon says underdog plus points is damn near always money in the Super Bowl. Just saying, guys, good luck. Well, that's why I was going. That's why I said Cincinnati to cover. Had them to cover last week against the Chiefs. A lot of people are saying Chiefs in a blowout. Had Cincinnati to cover, bro. I think they cover this game, especially +4, +4.5. I mean, some books had it like at +5 Cincy for a little while. So I think that's a bit much, man. RJ, since you're on Patreon, I'll make sure I take this. Lawson, FanDuel has a Boyd versus Jefferson most receiving yards. Boyd, even though Von Jefferson, he'll rip a big play. I just think we're going to see a lot of Higbee, a lot of Odell, and double coverage against Cobb. Now, that does open it up for Von Jefferson, and we know Von Jefferson is more of a big play threat than Tyler Boyd, but I would go Boyd there. I would go Boyd there. And RJ says they also have a what happens first. First sack, touchdown, or sack? Sack. First sack, bro. Sack. For sure. And this Rams offensive line, even though I like this Rams offensive line a hell of a lot better than Cincinnati's O-line, let's be honest and real about something for just a second. This Rams offensive line wasn't what it was like 3 years ago. Remember when they had like Saffold and they had Whitworth and they had a bunch of other dogs and it was a top 5 offensive line? That Rams offensive line isn't top 10. Like it's a middle of the road offensive line that has good schematics. So they're even liable to give up a sack. And we know Stafford, he can't get out of the way as someone's coming. So I like the sack, bro. I like the sack. I think that's a really good one. What's up, Shane? Thank you for your support on Patreon, RJ and Shane. First scoring player prop. Field goal. Yeah, field goal. Dude, it's tight emotions. Like thinking someone's going to get the ball and just go down and fucking put up a touchdown. I think it's a little bit naive. I like the field goal plus 150. I wish I would have put that in one of my videos. I like the way you're thinking, Shane. I mean, you could lose it, bro. You could lose it, but I think that's a good one, man. Shane, brother of awesome. Thanks for the journey so far. Respect from Shane. I have a Rams 14-1 ticket. Sadly, only for beer money. Yeah, bro. It was a good bet nonetheless. And when you're building yourself up in this betting game, you should be using beer money to build yourself up to the point where you're fucking putting $5K on the Rams' future. And where you have enough bankroll to be flexible, even if it doesn't hit. Because it's hard to hit those future bets, especially if we're talking Super Bowl, bro. Oh, dude, Melbourne's good. Melbourne is really good, dude. I've been there before. Melbourne's awesome. Not a big fan of Orlando, but you got a lot of stuff to do. And, you know, if you're single, that's a pretty good place to be if you like Latin women. If you don't like Latin women, but yeah, it'll be good. And you're not far from the beach. I think that's like a 40-minute drive to the beach. And there's a lot of good places. Like my favorite beach is Naples. Tons of old people, bro. I get it. I know. I get it. I don't like 80 not 5-year-olds driving. I get it, bro. But I think Naples is awesome if you're looking for a beach. No ice, bro. I was rushing. I was preparing some food for dinner tonight. Preparing some steak. Gonna chow down on some steak tonight. Yo, what up, Johnny? What up, my man? Dude, if you're not working, come on, bro. I want to hear who you got. Jonathan Chavez, you think there will be a safety? No, I don't. But I don't. I get why people would want to go that direction, though. Kyle, FanDuel. I sound like a hater, but I can't bring myself to use it. Parlays drives me crazy. Me too, dude. And I'm not even a math bro. I've never been into math. I'm good at statistics and things like that. But just like sometimes the parlays make me want to like just stab myself, you know, because they do get annoying. But at least on FanDuel, they're coming with some good stuff because they know there's a bunch of like average Joe bettors that don't belong gambling. You know that. So we got to take the good with the bad. I wouldn't use FanDuel, but I get why some people are using it. And I hope my people can take advantage of the amateurs because I'm sure FanDuel, dude, they're making probably so much profit on these average Joes. Here we go. Lauren Kaiser on Patreon. Let's go Bengals. Ride that money. Made some good Bengals straight up against the tree. Let's go. Bengals, bro. Bengals. This is from Alan Corrales. Hi, John. My bookie has a promotion where they pay me double if I hit one of the following bets. What will be the first offensive play? Run or pass? I would go run. Will there be a touchdown from any defense or special teams? Yes. No. Go no on that one, bro. Go no on that one. Rams total field goals. Over, under 1.5. I would go under 1.5. That's a tough one. I would take that one off. I don't like that one. Rams total touchdown. Over, under, 3.5, under. I think this game is going to be more low scoring than people think. The field goal one's a toss up for me. I would just slice that out of there. But the other three, I like my answers. Jonathan Yim, afternoon, John. Thank you, Jonathan, for supporting on Patreon. Thank you, everyone, for supporting on Patreon. Afternoon, John. Just wanted your thoughts on some same game parlays. Plus 1,200 or 12-1 Miller to get a sack, Donald. I like that one. Miller to get a sack. I think he gets a sack. Donald to get a sack. You got that. Mixon over 62.5. I think Mixon goes for 80 yards, so I like that. Mixon to score anytime touchdown is a little bit complicated. And Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I like that. The only one that is iffy to me is Mixon to score anytime touchdown and maybe Donald to get a sack. I'd like Donald to get a sack, but you could see how there's risk there. I don't like that Mixon anytime touchdown, but it could hit. It could hit. And Jonathan Yin says it was a great year for you. Can't wait for the upcoming season. Yeah, bro, I'm looking forward to it. A little bit sad, man. But it is what it is. We got to finish the season strong. Lauren Kaiser says, I can never understand why people move down here to Florida and move to freaking Orlando Disney World, the only big city without a beach and obnoxious traffic. The traffic's so bad there. You are correct. But unfortunately, a lot of people have to move there for work. So that's where we're at. And some of the cities outside of Orlando, like Kissimmee, and I'm blanking on some others, they're kind of sketchy, especially for people moving down from the north. And they might get a little bit afraid, But yeah, I'm not a big Orlando guy. Really not. Dakio 8393, Aaron Donald Superbowl MVP plus 800. I saw some people getting it at plus 1,200. So yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that it's a good race, but for plus 800, you should try to get it a little bit lower. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm just inventing things, but I feel like you could get a better price for that. Probably the safest MVP bet is Joe Burrow, because if Cincinnati is going to win this game, it's going to be Burrow going off. I think that's the safest MVP bet, even though I don't think the Bengals win. LMM, I like FanDuel's match for first-time customers. Yeah, because they know they're going to win it back from these noobs. Johnny Gonzalez says, I'm wage slaving at work today. I'll mess you on Instagram what I love in the Super Bowl. Appreciate it, bro. Hopefully the bet goes well. RJ88, I lost my future bet. I had Jonathan Taylor to win Offensive Player of the Year, had 300 on it. Dude, I don't think it was that bad a bet, though. I got to ask a question. I felt like Brady was phenomenal the first 13 weeks of the year. And you guys know I'm a big Aaron the Game Rodgers guy. But was Rodgers all that great this year? I'm just saying, was he all that great during the regular season? We know he picks the Packers up by the bootstraps, and he's the only reason why the Packers are relevant. I just don't know if that qualifies him for Offensive Player of the Year or MVP or anything along those lines. I mean, that's where I'm at on it. I was never a big Jonathan Taylor guy. But if we're going film by film, play by play, I don't know, man. I think he deserved it. I would even think about Jamar Chase or Burrow. What Jamar Chase and Jonathan Taylor did this year was pound for pound, scrap by scrap, some of the most phenomenal stuff I've seen for a long time. But that's where I'm at. Sean Smith, man. What's up, Sean? What's good, John? Just want to hear your thoughts on Mike McDaniel, Miami Dolphins' new head coach. I wasn't a fan of the hire, but maybe I'm just jaded because of what happened with Brian Flores. There were some things I don't agree with Brian Flores about, like him trying to sandbag and not wanting to break the rules to get Tom Brady. I didn't respect that too much. Like, because in life, we always have to push the rules a little bit. We always have to be a little bit creative. But I don't think you can win in that organization. If this lawsuit from Flores has proved anything, I just think that's a failure of an organization. I just really think it is. And I don't think Mike McDaniel stands a fighting chance, bro. And there's a reason why they had to hire a guy who didn't really have any market. And did Mike McDaniel even call plays before? That's my main question. I don't think he ever called plays before. And for me, that's a big concern. I mean, it smells a little bit like Joe Philbin to me. Just a younger Joe Philbin, right? Yeah, I kind of don't think Rodgers deserved MVP, and I'm like the biggest Rodgers guy. So it is what it is. Um, you know, and I think people started to rally around him for the MVP just because of what that one journalist said, where he's not going to vote for him. A kid named Coop on Patreon. I'm thinking about going big on this teaser. The Bengals to 10 on the total to go over 42.5 minus 120. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I really like bringing the Bengals to 10. The total to go over 42.5, it should go. I think that's a good teaser to bet. I have no complaints, but I would just give you a cautious word that we could see a little bit of that Chiefs Tampa Bay situation if things get out of hand for the Bengals offensive line, which it could very well happen. That's the only caution of the Bengals coming in and only getting 10 to 13 points because the offensive line can't stand up. Ethel says, imagine giving a quarterback an MVP based off his touchdown INT ratio. Yeah, it's kind of lame, bro. And people really should stop talking about quarterback stats. It should be more about film. It should be more about throwing in the tight windows than about stats. And it should be also about level of difficulty when we're talking MVP. No one talks about level of difficulty at all. They would just rather you be on a team that goes 14-2, where the level of difficulty is not as high as someone like Joe Burrow. That level of difficulty is on fucking 1,000. You know what I'm saying? God mode, all Madden type. Yeah. Shane, U.S. customers don't realize what goldmine sign-up offers you get. 501k here in Ireland, you are lucky to get $20. Take every U.S. bookie present, but here's the thing, Shane. Especially in the European Union, you guys have more of a patient mentality towards life. So when you get this free money, you guys are able to use it better. The American wants the nut fast. So taking the free money for the American, it means he's going to have a rollover. Some have a 10x, a 5x rollover. So you have to be patient. I love the free money because it makes them be patient. But they don't want to be patient. So that would be my criticism about it. And if you're a high roller, sometimes you don't want to wait for a 10x rollover. But yeah, dude, I like the free money. And it helps these people be more patient. Yeah, bro, Sean, I'll get you on, man. We got to talk about the Dolphins. What did you think of the hire? Yeah, RJ, I think it just barely goes under 48. Yeah, it could turn into a shootout. That's always the danger. I just think this game is going to be close and it's going to be more defensive than people think. Um, and I hope Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. Yo, Coop, I answered your question. But yeah, bro, that 42 and a half, I like it going over. But I think it's kind of like a fine margin for a teaser, if you understand what I'm saying. Especially because of what happened in the last Super Bowl with Tampa's D line eating the Chiefs' offensive line's lunch. And we know that Tampa Bay, uh, we know that Chiefs' offensive line is better than the Bengals last year. Christopher Reese says, just like I said before, buddy, Bengals money line. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's better to go plus 190 than minus 190. Like, I get it. The Bengals are going to have a hard time winning this game. They're going to have a hard time winning the game, man. I think the Rams are better than the Chiefs. I don't think that's a crazy proposition to make. And then, like, I think the Rams are better than the Titans. I don't think that's a crazy proposition to make. I think the Rams are better than the Raiders. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. So, yeah. Oh, no problem, Coop. No problem, Coop. No problem, Coop. Rams. I got the Rams to win. I'm looking for your guys' opinions. I want everyone in the chat to say who they got. Here we go. I'm going to get to some more Patreon questions. Some people are coming late. Okay, let me get Johnny Gonzalez. Just wanted to point out that most of the MVP awards go to the winning team. Almost all, right? And usually to the quarterback. If you like the Rams, you can take Stafford. You could take Stafford or someone you like from the Rams to take to MVP. That's another way to pick the Rams at plus money. I agree with that completely. And they will probably give it to Stafford unless Aaron Donald goes off. Right? I mean, if the Rams get the defense a touchdown and it's like a really low scoring haul, then we could see it. But yeah, bro, like, what is it like? Has there ever been an MVP from an opposing team that lost a Super Bowl? Have we ever seen that before? I don't think we've seen it. Johnny Gonzalez says, I love the Bengals in this spot. To me, when I look at each of the three playoff games, I think Burrow has progressed in each. I agree with that. I can't say the same for Stafford. I think he and the Rams keep teams around, and this time it'll cost them. Yeah, bro, that's my only big criticism, and that's why I think Bengals are the pick if you're like talking like +4, because the Rams just find a way to keep teams in games. They just do. And it's one thing that's worrisome. There's one thing that is very worrisome. Tyler Richardson, do you know which apps let you bet on Super Bowl squares? Earlier this week, I was looking at one, but it went away. My bookie had them last year. I know my bookie had them last year. I'm not sure about this year. My dad was always a big Super Bowl square guy. So, yeah, dude, they're going to have it. And Stafford is interception pro. It's crazy how Burrow's been taking care of the ball so well, even with all the pressure, even without like a dominant run game. I mean, that's one thing that's fascinating for me. I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Let's go. Yeah, Shane, this is one thing that annoys me. Like people on Instagram, they'll like say they're like master betters, and like the day after the games, they'll post like, oh, my pick was like the Rams, and they'll post their picks, but they never post it before the games. And a lot of people are fucking cowards. Like they'll post their picks and then they'll fucking delete them when they don't go well. Like that's the thing about my Patreon. Everything's up there for public consumption. The last 2 years, the bets are up there for public consumption. I just can't stand people being cowards. Like there's just too many cowards in the world right now. You know, so yeah. Yeah, bro. Okay. There's a UFO outside your window. Maybe, bro. Oh, yeah, it does. The reflection does really look like that. A kid named Coop. How do you feel about Joe Mixon over 3.5 reception? I like it, but isn't everyone kind of jumping on like the Joe Mixon receiving this game? I mean, I kind of still have the same opinion of last week. I think Joe Mixon does well with the run. I think it's more about Joe Mixon running than about him catching the ball. Like Joe Mixon is great at catching the ball. But that one's tough. I would just go, I don't think we need to reinvent the wheels. Just go back to what we did last week, which is Joe Mixon over rushing yards. Like last week, I was beating that drum all week. And normally I don't do that with player props because there's so many variables in the NFL game. But I like that one. Thin Jesus. I don't think Stafford has been tested yet in the postseason. I don't know. No, I don't think I agree with that because going into Tampa Bay and winning that game wasn't any easy task. I had the Rams all week. That was the damn money pick of the week. But that was no easy task. And to diminish that, I think is a little bit disrespectful. I think it's like looking for things to poke holes in the Stafford. And then against the Rams, bro, that was a slobber knock. Like that 49ers defensive line came to play and Stafford didn't wither. And are we forgetting that like the 6th-string receiver of the Rams, the white dude, Stafford threw like a 60-yard laser to him wide open the end zone and he drops it. Like I felt like he had some adversity that game. And say what you will about the 49ers secondary. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But they got good coaching and they got a pretty good red zone defense. Stafford threw that interception and he didn't melt down. They were down 10. What were they down in the fourth quarter? They were down 10 and the messages were coming in on Instagram saying I'm the biggest idiot in the world. And Stafford led those boys back. Yes, it's against Jimmy G. Yes, Jimmy G isn't a task normally you see in an NFC championship game. It's not something to brag about. It's not something that's going to put you in the fucking Hall of Fame by any means. Like, I get your rationale, but I don't know, man. When you're down in an NFC championship game and you bring your boys back, that's got to count for something. Even though he had a lot of help, let's be honest. Super Bowl, Chuck Hawley, MVP. Super Bowl. Super Bowl 5, Chuck Hawley. He was on the opposing team. Was he the only one to win it in history? He must be, bro. He must be. Yo, thank you for the info, Paul. Thank you. That's good information. Rake Flyer, Mixon, 61.5 yards, rushing the under is minus 115. Yeah, I think they're going to have to give it to him a lot. Steve Terry, hi, John. What's up, Steve? How you doing, Steve? Hope everyone's doing good. You know, like I said, to lead off the show, this week is a little bit of melancholy. Like, I know some of you like the baseball. Some of you like NBA. I like betting soccer. It's fun to bet. But, man, I always feel a little bit of melancholy this week with the Super Bowl and knowing we don't get NFL for a long time after this. So yeah, I'm enjoying tonight. Enjoying the questions. Let's get it. I got through the Patreon questions already, so I'm working on the chat questions. So anything you guys got to say, I'm going to answer. Okay, let's get to Gab Quave. Will Joe have more than 300 yards? I think he's at like the 280, 285 point. I don't think he has enough time to rip over 300 yards. Now, this game could turn into like a Texas shootout, and I could be eating my words, but I don't think Joe goes for over 300 yards, even with how phenomenal he is. I think this game is more defensive than people think. Walking in India, walking toward greetings from India. Namaste, namaste, my friend. Namaste. India is an interesting country, man. It's funny to have fans from all over the world when we're talking about American football. But American football, dude, I think it's the fucking best sport in the world if you think about it and take a step back. And this is from someone who loves soccer, the global sport. And basketball is damn near global at this point. But NFL is the best sport. It's the best sport. Nick Grover. Burrow is a better quarterback. That's what it comes down to. He beat Carr. Okay, Carr sucks. Tannehill's might be the most overrated player in the league, and Mahomes. He's had a better year than all of them. Also, he had a better year than Stafford. Yeah, but does he got the better team? I mean, Burrow's been magical, but it's not like he can go through 3 or 4 reads in the pocket. And against a really good Rams defense, he's going to need to do that. Jalen Ramsey's going to be on Jamar Chase 90% of the plays. So there's like no easy option. Like, I'm not saying Jamar Chase is going to be shut down by Jalen Ramsey. With Jamar Chase and his ability to run after the catch, he kind of is unstoppable. It's not like he's like Mike Evans or DeAndre Hopkins, who are kind of stagnant. But even with that being said, I don't think Jamar Chase goes off by any means. Burrow's going to have to progress to the other targets. And how much time does he really have? I mean, Burrow's better than Stafford, but I think that's kind of like a simple-minded thing to say because this game is going to be more complicated than that. Like, Mahomes was playing better football than Brady last year. Saw how that went. Yeah, dude, and Burrow has had no turnovers. It's amazing. It's amazing to be sacked that many times and to not fumble the ball. It's rather amazing. Dream big. Hey, brother, did you know quarterbacks named Joe never lost a Super Bowl, but Matt's both lost? Yeah, but Joe Montana was playing on like a stacked super team. A stacked super team, bro. What other quarterbacks were named Joe other than Joe Montana? Let me think. I'm going to think for a second. That's interesting. Joe Cap might have lost it. If he got the Vikings to the Super Bowl in the 60s, he might have lost. I don't know if that's true. I think Joe Cap lost the Super Bowl for the Minnesota Vikings. Steve Terry, John, you are the #1 pick show on YouTube. I believe so. And I think next year I will have a studio. I know I kind of let you guys down with me not getting a studio because, dude, I'm just busy analyzing the film. And I had to set up all my stuff here. Recently got married this year. And I can't take away time from film so I can go fucking decorating. Oh, this looks good here. Oh, let me put a sign here. Let me paint this wall yellow or a forest green. Like, I don't got time for that shit. Now, with the off season coming up, I will have time for that stuff. If any of you guys have a design in mind, hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram because we do need a studio. I think that's one reason why I get a little bit lost in the algorithm sometimes, because the studio. Unfortunately, bro. I thought YouTube, when it started like 6 years ago, it was kind of like antithesis, like overproduction. Like, people get sick of overproduction. Like, ESPN spends like $1 billion a year on production and sets. And how good are the shows? How good is the information? How good are the debates? Not really good at all. But YouTube is evolving, so we'll see. Miguel Hernandez, Bengals all the way. What's up, Miguel? What's up, Miguel? The year of the Tiger narrative is lame as fuck. And here's another thing that's lame as fuck. I respect all ideas. I don't silence anyone. But, bro, like, there's some Gematria guys on my Patreon. They talk about numbers like it's the 6th day of February. It's the 6th day of 2006. Joe Burrow was burned. He met Jamar Chase November 6th. So this means Bengals win by 6 points. You know, that type of gibberish. It's like borderline schizophrenic. Like, dude, like, if it was another era, we would put them in a straitjacket and throw them into the home. But that's fine. We live in 2021 where everything's crazy. There are no rules. There is no, like, antithesis in how to think. I get it. It's fine. I accepted it. We've moved on. But, bro, at least come on here and tell me why this number stuff with Joe Burrow being burned the 6th minute of the 6th on February, how that makes a difference. At least come on here and be a man and have a dialogue with me. But they don't even want to have a dialogue. They just want to post these schizophrenic rants, which are borderline schizophrenic. I'm not a psychologist. But, you bring this to a psychologist or a medical professional, they're going to throw these people in the fucking straitjacket, bro. Steve Terry, I don't trust the Rams. I get why you're saying that, because Stafford is keeping teams in the game. That's why I got the Bengals to cover. I just think the Rams got too much for him. Flacco. Oh, Joe Flacco. How could we forget he was in a Super? Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl, right? Oh, yes. Joe Namath. Yeah, dude. Joe Namath was a beast. The totals. Yes, that's Gematria, Shane. The only reason why you won that bet is because you followed the Gematria. Joe Theismann. Oh, Joe Theismann got it. Stafford depends on Higbee. Does he? I don't think they use him enough. He does a little bit, and I think he's going to depend on him a lot this game. Higbee's going to play, right? I did see he was banged up, but Higbee should be playing. Let's see if he's playing. He's going to need Higbee against the zone. Yeah, so it's looking like Higbee's not going to play. But their backup came in and played really well. And plus, they got a ton of wide receivers who can work underneath. But I do think Higbee being out is a bit of a problem. Yeah, dude, non-sports fans are looking to gamble. And so it's interesting. And I'm glad I can motivate you, bro. And I think we need to just start doing our own thing in this life. Period. Like, not relying on other people, not relying on big corporations. Like, dude, it's tough now that the big corporations are getting into betting. It hurts my algorithm in YouTube, but word of mouth still works the best. Like, 2 years of winning bets, winning money picks, 2 years of winning records on money picks on YouTube. That's going to be word of mouth. So that's the best thing you can do, getting word of mouth going. Super chat from Rav. What's up, Rav? I hope you have a fucking great Super Bowl weekend, my guy. Taking Bengals plus 10.5 and over 41.5 in the teaser. Yeah, we had Coop talking about that. I'm not against that. I think that's good. But just be wary, bro. Be wary. Finn Jesus, what's up, Finn? The Bengals have dogs in that receiving core. They do have dogs. Who outside of Jalen Ramsey will be able to cover those guys? Not really anyone. But you also have to have more than 3 seconds to throw the ball, especially with the Bengals scheme. It's not like it's Brady who throws it in like 1.5 seconds, or it's like Rodgers. Like they have to have time to get open. And can I just be honest? Like I love T. Higgins, but I always feel like Tyler Boyd has always been like really overrated. He's really average. So yeah. I would say the Rams have way better dogs in the receiving core. Like Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, that's fire. Like we're 50 minutes in this show and we haven't mentioned Odell Beckham. I mean, at the level that dude is playing, we should be talking about. I'm not a big Odell Beckham fan. I listen, like I understand like the media hyped him up to a point where like he was the next Jerry Rice. He obviously isn't that. But the way him and Cooper Kupp are going high low on people, it's really hard to cover, man. It's really hard to cover. Rake Flyer, when you know about Bad Russ having gone to jail. Yeah, Tim Donaghy. Okay, Zamora, 690. You ever feel like Cincinnati and Burrow made it this far so the NFL reminds you not to forget about Burrow since last year we all talked about was Herbert? I don't want to get conspiratorial, but the NFL really needed Burrow and Herbert to step up because we're losing Brady. Rodgers is kind of like losing interest in football. Huge Rodgers fan here, but let's be honest, like he's kind of losing interest in football, and that's fine. And Mahomes, I never got on the Mahomes train as much as other people. It's just Mahomes is really entertaining. It's just what does he bring outside of him slanging the football? You could say the same thing about Herbert and Burrow. You really could. But, dude, like, if you go in this league with Mahomes, Burrow, and Herbert, dude, I think that sells well. I think that creates rivalries. I think it gets people going. Unfortunately, though, like Herbert, it's kind of on like a minor franchise. Like, no disrespect to the LA Chargers fans, but they kind of are like a periphery franchise. Same with the Bengals. Could you imagine if one of those guys was like on the New York Giants? So yeah, dude, I feel like the NFL needed Burrow to emerge. Does that mean they're fixing games? I don't think so, but yeah. Profit margin. The one things these Gematria guys have in common is that they're wrong more often than not, and they'll lie about their one-loss record. Yeah, dude, like, could you imagine me if I tried deleting like week 8 when I was like 2-1-2 on money picks, or I had a few weeks where I was 1-3 on money picks. Could you imagine me sneaking and creeping on the computer to go delete those videos? It's just the lamest thing ever, and it's not authentic. Maybe it's better for business. Maybe it's better for the algorithm. Maybe it's better for the word of mouth. But, bro, I just hate that shit. It's lame. It's fake. And when we live in a world where everything's fake, can just some things be real, And the Gematria stuff, like, I'm honestly concerned. Like, I am honestly concerned when we reach that level, and I have a family member who's schizophrenic. So I am sympathetic to that type of stuff. Dude, I had some crazy people on my Patreon. I gave them a second chance. Like, I'm really fucking forgiving, really fucking understanding. But that Gematria stuff, like the inauthenticity of them, to defend their schizophrenia is weird. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too harsh on them, bro, but that's where I'm at. RJ88, I think they'll play Henderson over Michelle now that he's off IR. I actually think that too. That's why I tried to stay away from the Sony Michel player props. Like a lot of you guys were talking about Sony Michel, like what was it? Like over under 25 and a half, 27 and a half. It was in that range. Can't remember off the top of my head. Gematria. But you know, it is, man. Here we go. Can you give your opinion on why the spread is 4 and not like Rams -7 at home? Well, if you guys remember on Patreon, when before the spread dropped, right after the Rams won, I predicted it would be 4, and that's how good Vegas is, especially in the playoffs. Like that's why I like the regular season. Because they're going to make 4 or 5 mistakes, and we can eat off those. We can eat, and we can provide for our families with those 4 or 5, hell, maybe 6 mistakes if we're feeling really gusto about it. You know what I'm saying? Dream big. It's just, it's like I don't like. For me, I felt like the 4 was where it should be. I don't think the home field advantage will play that big a part. I don't think Vegas was even factoring it in, since technically it's a neutral field, but it does help being on your own field. I don't think the fan support will work against the Bengals, because the Super Bowl is like a fucking cocktail party for rich people. It's not for me. It's not for you. It's not for like average Joe. It's not for like Tyrone in Chicago. It's not for Mitchell in North Carolina. It's for rich people. It's for Donnie Wahlberg to go lead the game when the Patriots are getting pounded by the Falcons. He leaves the game early, and Mark Wahlberg, they leave the game early, you know, because they're not real fans. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's lame. But nothing is for regular people anymore. Sounds good. I'll get you on. Who's your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now? I'm not going to do like a particular order, but Rodgers, Mahomes, Burrow has to be in here. I think Herbert continues to elevate, and I'm not sure a quarterback had a higher degree of difficulty than him other than Joe Burrow. And Josh Allen. Josh Allen has to be in there, even though he struggled at times this year. Russell America Wilson, I actually think he's better than people think, but he was bad this year, bro. I've always been a big defender of him, but he was bad this year. There's a lot of things to talk about the Seahawks and why the Seahawks were bad, but that's off the top of my head. Maybe I'm missing a dude. I'm just going through the rosters now in my head. Let me think. I'll get back to you on that, but that's my list, bro. I think Burrow and Herbert, they've elevated in there. You got to think, right? Yeah, you're not going to win all your bets. And I just hate these fake people who act like they have 6-0 records every week and they don't post the bets before the games. It just really makes me mad. Alex, come on and tell us. Like, I'll be very respectful with you, but just come on and tell us. And don't be a coward. Like, come on, we can have a civil conversation about it and let the people decide. But you guys won't come on. You guys won't come on and talk to anyone. You guys should stay in your little echo chamber of the internet and write 6-paragraph sonnets about stuff that seems schizophrenic to 98% of the population. I just come on, man. I followed one of the biggest, dude. I had people, especially last year, doing a lot of Gematria on my YouTube channel. So I started following everything, and most of it was losses. So, dude, you can come on. You can come on and, dude, that's fine that you're great doing mortgages, but mortgages is really easy to make money. There's no skill to it. The system is all set up to make money that way. Like, there's no skill to it. And congratulations for making six figures. But it doesn't mean that people don't have anxiety issues or mental health problems. And also, I feel like Gematria, not to get too deep or philosophical here, I feel like it's a way to deal with the modern world. There's too many information. There's too many angles. There's almost too much information to devolve. And with media and TV, there's just too much information. There's too much feedback. And people are too passive. They're spectators. It is a spectacle. It is a spectacle, and then there's just too much information, and you guys try to find something that can make sense of something that can't make sense. You guys try to make rationality out of something that isn't rational, because it's just kind of like a cope to deal with the modern world. Like, you can come on, bro. Like, I really wish you would come on. But, you know, when people start talking about their jobs on the internet and how much money they make, that means that they're hiding behind something, and they wouldn't have the courage to come on. You know, it's easy to like write comments and say you make a lot of money, and therefore I'm not schizo, or I'm not like coping, but you are coping. You are coping, bro. Come on and like you just explain to us how it works. Because I got my opinion, and I see the lot of y'all. And it's schizo posting, bro. It's schizo posting. I know. Tons of rich schizos exist. Tons. Like, what does it mean? And six figures is nothing in this country anymore. Like, we're supposed to be impressed by that? We're supposed to be impressed by six figures in this country? Bro, if you're fucking making $200K in San Francisco, you're damn near struggling to pay your rent, living paycheck to paycheck. What does it mean? Sorry to go off on the rant, but I really want to get one of these Gematria guys on. Like, I'll respect them if they come on. It's just all they're good at doing is typing. And none have the social skills to come on and actually talk. Yeah, Tony, Josh Allen is fire. You could make an argument he's the best quarterback in the league. You really could. Yeah, someone should call it. Alex, why can't you? You're the successful businessman. I'm sure you're good looking and have a six-pack as well. You know, you can come on. Here we go. Yeah, like I just was interested in the Gematria. I just wanted to hear an argument for it, and so and actually talk about it. Instead, it's just like having like 50 paragraph sonnets in comment sections. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but you know, it's just like, come on, bro. Like, we got like mouths, we can use them, and most of us like hearing arguments, especially if your argument is really long. You know, it's better to just go out and verbalize it. Okay, Tyler Smith. Lawson, my man, is Donald going to get a sack? I think he will. I think he will. I'd like to Von Miller sack that better, but I can completely live with an Aaron Donald sack. Yeah, Martin should call in. Yeah, dude. He can come on. Everyone knows my email. Okay. You don't, yeah, I don't have a real job. Okay. I've had real jobs. Real jobs suck. Real jobs suck, bro. And who would want a real job when you can do what you want and pretty much make equal or more than the money, and I can live where I want? Congratulations. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got Lauren coming on. Then I'm going to get Marty on. I think I can send you my email I think I can send you my email. I'll post my email right here. We're getting the Gematria guys, they're flowing in. They're flowing in. That's my email. Send me an email. I'll get you on right after Lauren. I'm actually excited you guys are going to come on. So, and I'll let you talk. I won't interrupt you because I think it's interesting. Thank you. Kevin Cowell, Stafford over pass yards plus 1.5 touchdowns. What's his over under pass yard? Like 274.5, right? Like, see, I'm good with numbers. I can fucking remember every number I see. Doesn't mean I like get autistic about it. Yeah, I think Stafford gets 2 passing touchdowns. Like, I think he gets one easy one off play action, and then I think he hits one like over 30 yards. Yeah, like that's the type of stuff you hear because it's the 9th day of the 9th solar system, the 9th orbit of of Jupiter with Saturn, and it's the 9th day. It's ninth days, and yeah, it's dude. In any other in a functioning society, we would just call this like autism, and but I will entertain it. I will entertain just about anything. Score predictions. One score prediction I like is 24-21. Another one I like is 24-13 for the Rams to win. I like those score predictions, but who the hell knows? We've seen some crazy scores going on. Okay. There's all the record. There's all the record on Patreon for the last 2 years. And there's plenty of profit. How do you think I'm able to afford my life when I don't go to a job? You know? Good question. Marty, you can come on and just use your voice. It'll be good. I'm waiting for Lauren to come on. Is she coming on, or are we going to get Marty on? I'll let you explain it to us. And you didn't send me an email, bro. Didn't send me an email. Let me see if it got to my spam. Okay. Here we go. Send it to my email, bro. Yeah, it's always good, man, and I wasn't trying to be too hard on you, Alex, but you know, it's good that you guys are going to come on because I actually have respect for you guys now. But yeah, you know, the modern world is difficult, and we all understand, you know, this world is confusing and things, but yeah. So if Lauren doesn't come on, we're getting him on first. I'm looking forward to it. Like, I just respect the courage because, you know, and I'm not going to bite anyone's head off. I've always been a very cordial motherfucker. But also, like, one thing I don't understand, why do I have like all these Gematria guys following my show when I detest stats? And I'm really good at remembering every fucking stat, but I detest them. It's just to test them. Oh, your webcam's working. It must be because it's the 11th day of the 11th year of the tiger of
right.
the 11th hour of the English time.
And it right, exactly. It's the 11th something.
Yeah, dude. So how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell us why you think the Bengals are going to win.
I mean, does this not like deja vu? I've been saying this for, 4 weeks now.
But you can go on about it because different matchup, different week, everything changes.
You're right. I mean, so let's start from the beginning. Nobody had Cincinnati beating Tennessee. Nobody had Cincinnati beating Kansas City, except for me. Well, there's people, but nobody vocalized it,
No one relevant. No one who actually goes on and like puts their balls out on the line and does
right. I've had Cincy. I told you, I think a few weeks ago, I put Cincy to win the division at the beginning of the season. So
can I just answer this guy? Marty, just send something so it doesn't go into my spam folder. Be like, yo, what's up, John? How you doing? Put something in the title, and I just need your email to send the link. That's all I need, bro. Go on. Sorry to cut you off.
That's all right. So, I had them to win the division. I had them to beat Tennessee. I had them to beat Kansas City. So we're playing with house money now, Yeah. And I had them, straight up against KC, if you remember.
I do remember that. That was rather bold. Remember when they tore up the guy who came on here and said Burrow was better than Mahomes?
Oh, that was just dumb. That's ignorant.
Yeah, I know, especially how the NFL changes really quick. Yeah. They catch up to guys. But yeah, it was bold and,
That's just ignorant, though.
It was a little bit, but I respected the boldness. It's the same boldness too. I mean, Cincinnati.
And here's the thing. I'm not going to judge somebody by a season and a half either, whether they're better than, than anybody. You only see one season.
And I feel like the Chiefs, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like they're kind of out of ideas and they haven't revamped the team. You always have to spruce it up. But okay, let me just talk about the Rams because I think I'm going to get Michael Mann on with you, if you don't mind.
Oh no, I love my boy.
Yeah, but like here's what I'm saying about the game. At a certain point, football, I know football. You're a Saints fan, so like defensive line, O-line play can completely change everything. At what point does an O-line that is bottom 7, bottom 8 in the NFL just succumb? Now, we've seen times this year. Remember the Rams-Packers game? Like, I was on the Packers, but you guys have the right fundamentals because the Rams' defensive line is elite. But at a certain point, doesn't this Bengals offensive line make things impossible? Especially with the extra week to prepare for what they're doing. Are they going to have any? I think they need a lot of spice in this game, a lot of creativity, and I don't know if they're going to be able to match it. I don't.
So, collectively throughout the season, the regular season, the Rams and the Bengals have both scored 460 points total. Even, completely. Same. Weird, right? So
please don't go into that.
No, I'm just saying it's weird.
Right? I know. I was joking.
I'm not talking that it's like, like they're destined to both be in the Super Bowl and that's why, like it's not like that. But I'm saying collectively, they both have scored the same amount of points, 460. So you can look it up. It's, it's true. So I think that the Bengals can go toe to toe, score to score. I know everyone's talking about the defense, or the O-lines and this, that, and the other, but they've proven themselves in this playoff. They have. Burrow's got sacked 9 times against Tennessee. And then the next week, how many sacks did you see against Kansas City?
Yeah, but Kansas City's not a physical team.
So
it's like not the same world.
So I'm saying these teams have been playing up. This Cincinnati team, the backups who've got to come in, whoever is playing, they have got it together. They are making things happen. They are getting the long ball. They're scoring, 40-yard. They're catching 40-yard passes, and they're coming from behind when they are behind. So they are doing some amazing things, and I don't see how, and I've been saying this for 3-4 weeks now, how you can go against a team that is that hot.
Yeah.
When was the last time they lost?
When was the last time they lost? I remember they got their ass beat by the Chargers. I'm trying to think when they lost. They did lose to the Browns, but they were playing backup, so that doesn't count.
Well, I'm not counting when they sat.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm not counting when they sat people. But when was the last time they lost?
Well, yeah, they got their ass beat by the Chargers at home.
And how long ago was that?
Because they couldn't protect the passer against the average defensive line.
And I believe you and I were both on the Chargers there, weren't we?
Yeah.
So,
but I was on the Bengals that week, and I got pissed because it was really frustrating because they did come back in that game, then they gave it away. But anyways, yeah, it was just ridiculous how many sacks they're giving up.
I think that Joe Burrows and Matt Stafford, I'm a big Georgia Dog fan, so I love Matt Stafford. I'm glad that he's there. I feel like he deserves it. It's about time that he make it there. I just think that this Burrows and Chase and Mixon and Higgins and this, I think that's just going to be too much. There is only so much Jalen Ramsey to go around.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But yeah, I'll just make my point. I'll let you guys debate it. But for me, there's not going to be enough time. This Rams defensive line, I think they're best in the NFL. I think that ends up having a thing. And then also, dude, if you take Jamar Chase out of it, I don't think there's any other game breakers on the Bengals offense. Biggest Joe Mixon fan there is, but where are the other game breakers? Do we have to hype up Boyd and T. Higgins, they're Justin Jefferson or something, just because they're going to play with?
I think T. Higgins has shown that he can be a number one receiver with Burrows.
I don't think so.
He could. Now here's the thing, and I don't really think you're going to take out. They said that
about Tyrod Williams with the Raiders 5 years ago when he hit free agency. I'm not even Tyrod Williams.
The other thing about the T. Higgins matchup is that he's going up against Darrell Williams, who has not been good in this playoffs. So you have that going for you too. So I could see a scenario where T. Higgins has more yards than Chase at the end of the day.
More catches.
Of course, but Higgins isn't going to take a slant 80 fucking yards.
Oh, of course not.
I would live with him and Tyler Boyd catching the ball all day.
I don't think Ramsey's going to allow that to Chase though either. But
that's what I'm saying. I think Ramsey takes Chase out of the game. Chase is going to be under 70 yards, which is good.
I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
No,
I think so. I think Jamar Chase will beat him.
On the defensive line comment, I just want to throw this out here. So the left side of the Bengals line is not that bad, but the right side is not good at all. So I know you guys aren't big PP Pro Football Focus people. But they have, how they have their grading system 1 to 100. 2 of their players on the right side have a grade of less than 10. So that just goes to show how bad they are. So you put Von Miller and Aaron Donald over there, they're gonna wreck the game, I think. And I know from experience what Von Miller will do to you in a Super Bowl. So I could easily see a scenario where he just takes this over, or Aaron Donald takes this over, and this game's a blowout.
He single-handedly just annihilated Cam that whole Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. But
yeah, I just think that weak side is going to be a problem, and it's a blind side, and it's a problem.
And people keep
saying
not
as blind side.
You were saying earlier that or when he was saying earlier that the Bengals O-line looked better against the Chiefs. I don't necessarily think that's true. I just think that Joe Burrow was making more plays. He was taking off with his legs, and the Rams aren't going to allow that. The Rams are in a division. And they've built a team where they're in a division where they're meant to stop people like Kyler Murray, people like Russell Wilson, who are notorious for extending plays and making them on their own. They've shut those guys down this year, and I think they're going to do the same thing in Joe Burrow. Well, not shut down, but
I got a player props. Just for the people coming in, they want player props. My player prop or game prop to bet in this total game, they got over under 5.5 sacks. I'm going over. I think Rams give up at least 2. And dude, that one was a great bet by J-Sop. Thank you for sending that. Go on.
I think that Joe Burrows runs it in for a touchdown.
I don't know about that. I could on a quarterback draw or something. I could see it. Not on a scramble. Maybe on a draw or something.
Regardless, however you put it, I think he runs in a touchdown. He ran in his very first touchdown, and I think he'll run one in the Super Bowl too.
Okay, bold take. I think my favorite. I told you this, Lawson. I think my favorite bet or prop bet of the week, if you can consider it that, is Joe Burrow's MVP odds. Because I don't think we see a scenario where Joe Burrow wins or the Bengals win this game without Joe Burrow playing well. So Joe Burrow's got to.
You can't not give it to him if they win the game. And
Exactly.
Mathematically, I agree with you. Mathematically, that's the best bet because the
plus,
Rams will keep them in the game.
I don't know what is now, but when I looked at it, it was like plus 215 odds. So if you think the Bengals are going to win this and you want a good bet, like go bet Joe Burrow for MVP because those are great odds right now. The Rams side of the ball isn't as nice, so you can't just go bet Stafford for MVP and get a great payout. I think he's only like plus 115. But still, if you're feeling good about the Bengals, go bet Joe Burrow to win MVP.
That's you, Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren.
That's on you.
If you got him running for a touchdown,
I do have
take out the fucking college fund.
I do have him running for a touchdown. I mean, and I'm all for making him if that team wins, he will be the MVP.
Yeah, it's not like the Rams, where if the Rams win, like there are multiple avenues the Rams can win this game.
Cooper Kupp.
Kupp.
It's in my opinion, I would bet it to be Cooper Kupp. If it were to go that way, because he's probably going to be the one that has the most everything. And really, aside from, Joe Burrow, who you can't. I mean, you're going to have to make him the MVP.
Yeah, because the Bengals don't have stars like the Rams do. Like the Rams have stars everywhere.
Rams have stars, and so do the Bengals, though. But I mean, like they are going to have some big plays. They're going to make more, and Stafford is going to throw some picks when you least expect it. Probably late in the fourth quarter when it matters. Just my opinion. I think that he's going to have a little bit of the Tannehill-citis, and he might get some picks thrown, and the Bengals will capitalize on that, So I think it's going to be a very close game, and I'm not going to come in here and sit here and pound the Bengals win. Definitely got the Bengals with the points. I got it at 5 when it first came out. I don't know where it's even at right now. I think 4.5 maybe, but I got it at 5, and I jumped all over it because that's obnoxiously too much, So I jumped all over it. I think it's going to be a close, maybe a 3-point game. Do I think that the Bengals are going to win? Yes, I do. I'm not saying that just because I feel like I have to say that because I've been on the Bengals. I am not a closet Bengals fan. Whoever just said that. I am a Saints fan. Everybody knows that.
They have so many former Saints and LSU players on their team.
I know, right?
I know you probably have a Joe Burrow jersey in your closet somewhere.
I do have a little soft spot for Joe Burrow. He's number 9, LSU,
same number as Drew Brees. Oh,
right. He's spent a lot of time down here in New Orleans. So I do have a soft spot for this Bengals team, and I have loved them since the beginning of the season. And I did put them in the playoffs, and I did pick them to win the division, and I did cash heavily on it. So I'm not saying that because just now, I told you guys that months ago, you know what I mean? So you guys can go back and listen to it. But do I think they're going to win? Yes, I do, because I think the same reason that I've been saying the last few weeks, they will make more explosive downfield plays when it matters most.
Yeah, it's just the thing with the Bengals, you're just relying on magic, and I just prefer to go who I think's the better team.
But I think the Rams are one of the few teams who can contain that kind of magic, though.
And you're absolutely
because that's
right.
what they do in their division. They're used to this.
Oh, they got a very tough division, very tough division, and I agree. But I'm telling you right now that Burrows is used to being in these big games, probably more so than Stafford.
That is fair.
And he is used to playing at this high octane level in championship big time games, and he's never lost. I'm not going to put him losing now just because it's Matt Stafford and the Rams. I'm just not going to do it. I just don't think they can. I don't think so.
think that's a little disrespectful to the Rams there.
Yeah, no, I think the Rams will run the ball better too, which,
Yeah.
I don't think either team's going to run the ball.
I don't know. There's going to be a lot of running. Yeah.
Well, I think there'll be a lot of running. I just don't think either team's going to do it real well.
Yeah. No. Okay, and that's fair.
Because the Bengals can't block anybody, and the Rams. I think the Rams' run game's a little bit overrated, to be honest. I mean, it's been better since Cam Akers has come back, but it's still not the best run blocking team in the NFL.
Well, it's not what it was 3 years ago, but they can still run it, and they've been running it. They ran it on the 49ers. I mean,
that's true. They did run well against the 49ers.
They also got this merry-go-round run game thing. We got Sony Michel, Darrell Henderson, the other guy that just got, I don't know who.
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers is a fucking beast.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
as long as he doesn't fumble.
You know what? I'm going to take Joe Mixon over any three of those guys.
Well, Joe Mixon has to run it so they don't put Joe Burrow on a damn stretcher.
Joe Mixon's gonna see, and when Joe Mixon gets the ball, he's gonna be greeted by Aaron Donald and Von Miller right in his face.
So where's Aaron Donald been against the 49ers?
Didn't he force the interception?
He won the game.
Yeah, wasn't he the one who was tackling
all year? When he threw it? All year. So the last game, yes, but all year, did you really even see?
He's getting triple teamed.
Yeah, because
that's why Miller's been going off.
So you have to do that. So that's my point. So
Von Miller's going to wreck the game again and give me Super Bowl 50 flashbacks.
You have to double up on him, and they're going to have to triple, double, quadruple. Do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, I put everybody on him.
You know exactly. You're going to have to really. I mean, because that guy is so big. He's like Godzilla. Okay, so he's huge, and so the Bengals are gonna. It's going to take 2 or 3 of them just to be plowing against Aaron Donald if they can do it. But I do think that, I mean, there's going to be Joe Burrows. They're not just going to lay down and die. They're not. They're going to score. They're going to keep it close. They're probably going to win.
I don't know, Lauren. I look at the last.
You said this to me the last 4 weeks.
What?
No one agreed they were going to win.
That's true. I'll give you credit. You have been on the Bengals for a while.
What the hell? I've been on them since the freaking season, the playoffs started.
I just have seen too many Super Bowls where one team has a great D-line against a shaky O-line, and the team with the shaky O-line and the star quarterbacks gets destroyed. And that's from experience. So, it happened to Mahomes last year. It happened to him 2 years ago against the Niners, even though they won that game. It happened against Cam Newton and the Panthers. I just have seen that way too many times to now, completely turn tail that's come to this year's Super Bowl. So I can't bet on that Bengals offensive line against Aaron Donald and Von Miller.
So the last 3 playoff games, who has cashed on a Bengals ticket? Raise your hand. Right here.
Yeah, but
me.
Yeah, but
and the Bengals could have easily lost any of those games.
And
how does it fucking change this week?
Right. I'm not going to say they were easy blowout wins where, of course not. You know what I mean? Of course not. But I'm just saying, I'm going to ride this hot team, this hot quarterback, this team that has been the Cinderella story, this whole time. And Burrow said it, he says, I'm sick of being called the underdog. We're here. Fair enough. He's beaten enough elite teams to be able to say he's there.
Lawson, what do you
I'm
think?
so sick of the Burrow stuff. Honestly, if you've been watching from last year, I'm a huge Burrow fan, but I'm so sick of the Burrow stuff.
Are you?
I'm really sick of the Burrow shit. People are acting like he's like Joe Montana and he already has 3 or 4 rings. It's just getting kind of lame.
Well, I mean, he's only in his first full season. So,
yeah,
I
just don't like bandwagons and it's just I knew he was going to be like this, when he first came to the league. It just gets a little bit lame. Everyone gurgling on his cock every fucking second you turn on the TV. It gets a little bit old. And they beat the fucking Raiders. What they do? It's
they beat the Chiefs. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah,
they beat Tennessee.
That was an impressive win.
Yeah, but didn't the Chiefs kind of blow their load against the Bills? That really should have been the AFC championship.
You know what? I am so sick of hearing that the excuses the Chiefs lost are because the week before they went into overtime for 12 seconds against the Bills and won and had this huge celebration and they won their Super Bowl that week. So the next week they said, we'll give it to Cincinnati. Bullshit.
They were up 21-3,
yeah,
weren't
it
they?
is bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. Cincinnati won that damn game, and they deserve to win it. And they deserve all the credit.
They did. Mahomes fell apart.
I'm
not saying the Bengals don't deserve to be here. I'm just pointing out, like the Rams have been pretty much till against the Niners. They had done pretty well on this playoff run. You know, they beat the crap out of the Cardinals. They were up like 27-3 on Tampa Bay, and they barely got by the Niners. But the Bengals, I mean, they could have easily lost all 3 of these games. That's all I'm saying. So, granted, they've managed to come back and find ways to win these games.
And you know what? And look at the Rams. How much were they ahead against Tampa? And we almost and then what happened at the end?
Yeah, they won, didn't they? Stafford clutched up and he threw that dime to Cup.
Right. But they gave up how much of a lead at the end?
27-3. Hey,
so they could have easily
both
lost.
Both teams tried to lose and couldn't.
So they could have easily. So I don't want to hear Shamil Shemazel. Bullshit. No way. They both. The Rams have just as much, clout over them, and they can just as easily turn it down and fall apart. And we've all seen Stafford for years, and to me, he's an amazing player, and he deserves to be there. He was on such a crap team for 13 years, and this man deserves to have his moment. He does, and I'm not playing favorites. I'm just playing with the team that I feel is the hottest, and the team that's been the hottest this whole damn time.
That's a fair point, I think.
So yeah. Any last words? I want to get the Gematria guy on. I gotta get, but no, just Mike. You got Bengals to cover or Rams to win?
I've got Rams to win and cover, just because I can't bet on that Bengals O-line. But here's a matchup I'm curious about, and that no one's talking about at all for some reason. So we all know Cooper Kupp operates out of the slot. And Mike Hilton has been quietly like one of the best slot corners in the league this year. And no one's talking about that. Like everyone's buying their tickets to go see Chase versus Ramsey. But I want to watch Hilton versus Kupp, because I think if there's a slot corner in this league who can actually stay with him man to man, it's got to be him, right?
You would think. And that's why I think Odell Beckham goes off this game. And I think they're going to double Cooper Kupp, though. I want to see if they leave him one.
Was he on Hill or was he on Kelsey? Was he on Hill?
Who? Hilton?
Mike Hilton, yeah. He was on both.
He was kind of like sharing his role between the two of them, right?
And I like your point about Odell going off, because like if this goes as we think it is, Odell's probably going to see a lot of Eli Apple. So that's a lot of yards that are going to come off big plays. That's a pass interference call every now and then. So I do like Odell to go off in this game.
Yeah, dude, no one's talking about Odell either.
And I that's a very fair point too. I do think I think that Odell's going to have some. I feel like you can't really contain Cooper Kupp, though. I don't think anybody can. So I think he's going to have probably the most yardage, I think, out of any receiver in the whole game. But I do think that Jamar Chase is going to get his. And
I think Burrow's going to fumble. Just to put that out there, like we talked about Stafford, he's going to get an interception, but you can't be hit that much and not fumble. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's due, man. It's popping out.
I will say the Burrow's credit though about that, like you see a lot of quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, and Kyler Murray, they run around with one hand on the ball. Joe Burrow's very good at keeping two hands on the ball and not fumbling. So that's how
he's really good at it.
Yeah, he's good at not turning the ball over. So you want to talk about magic? That's one example of some magic right there. So
I don't even necessarily turn the ball over this whole postseason.
No, he had the dropped interception or the drop pass that got intercepted against Tennessee, but that wasn't his fault.
Okay. No, but it's crazy the level of difficulty, like on limited turnovers. Like that's why I think the Bengals got a shot. But yeah, Rams money line.
He's he is such an architect with that football, and he is so amazingly accurate with throwing, and he kind of just people used to say those things about Drew Brees. Like Drew Brees could literally you could be running and Drew Brees will throw it to wherever you're going to be, and it's like a dart.
I just can't bet on one great quarterback to beat a great defense with no offensive line. That's my thinking about this. And I agree at this point. I like the under too. That under is the under. That's a good bet. Especially the first half under.
I agree. And let's all not forget that Tennessee had a great defense too.
Yeah, they did.
And Burrows got beat up by that
But
Tennessee defense.
if there's one place I've been right on the Bengals this year, it's that I've been saying the whole time they kick a lot of field goals.
They
So
do.
don't
They
forget
add
about
up.
that.
They add up. And that kid, that McPherson kid, that's why you draft a kicker, apparently. Because
Yes.
money.
I want that off
Saints could
topic,
use
but
one.
I want that punter from San Diego State, dude. Have y'all seen that dude who can
Yes.
kick like 80-yard punts?
Yes.
I want that guy.
Yes, he's sick. I watched his YouTube video not too long ago.
Yeah, that dude's
And
insane.
Absolutely. My brother went to San Diego State. So I'm like subscribed to one of their little channel things. And I saw that kid throw or punt, and I almost died. I couldn't believe how far it went.
Yeah, he's a stud.
As far as last words, Lawson, I mean, I'm sure both of you and Mike knew what I was going to come on here and say. You guys just wanted me to come on and say it. But honestly, like, I'm not giving up on this team now. Not when they've proven they deserve to be there. And I personally think they're the most explosive team right now.
No, and it's good to get opposing views, man, because like this guy says, Burrow is like magic. There's something magical. I'm not discounting that.
And I think you're going to see Cincy fans at this game, too. It's not just going to be.
That's the point that needs to be talked about. I wonder how the fan split is going to be.
I think it's going to be. I think there's just going to be a lot of like casual rich people at the game. Like,
the tickets are crazy expensive, dude.
Did you see how many Cincy fans were at Kansas City, though?
Yeah, there were a lot.
A bunch, a lot closer, but still a bunch. They're probably so stoked that this team is there right now, like. And they don't know if they're ever going to see it again. So they're just all got to go and get their fill of this right now because it might not ever happen in their lifetime again. They don't know, So that's what they're probably all thinking. But I think
Ohio, how much money is in like Cincinnati? Have you guys ever been to Cincinnati?
One time.
It's very, very poor. It's like really, really like Ohio's really fucking depressed. But yeah, we'll see.
Almost as bad as Cleveland. Almost as Cleveland's pretty depressing too.
I actually think Cincinnati area is worse than Cleveland.
You think so?
Yeah.
I've never been to Ohio, so I can't speak on this.
Ohio's really bad, man.
Like, yeah, I think there's some sad people in that state.
It's cold, so that's why we don't like it.
It is cold.
Yeah,
it's very cold. Me and John are from upstate New York, so
yeah, it's a heck.
Yeah. Dude, I actually think like cold is a factor in why like so many people like in Ohio and like states like that like do heroin. Like not trying to get dramatic. Like,
interesting theory.
You guys think that what do you guys have for how many touchdowns Burrows and Stafford each throw for?
Oh, I got Burrow. I got Stafford with 2. I got Burrow under the 1.5.
Under the 1.5?
Well, if he runs one in like you're saying, that's going to take away from him. And you know how many field goals the Bengals kick? Yeah, they don't count that.
Okay.
So I could see it. I'm split on that. I don't touch those touchdown bets because that's such.
I hate that.
That's such a coaching decision. Like I would never bet that.
I think when push comes to shove, I think you guys are both right on the under because I'm on the under too.
Yeah.
I think it actually might be. I think most of the scoring is going to come in the third and fourth quarter. I think the first 2 quarters are going to be kind of bland.
I'm with you. That's why I really like the first half under.
Yes.
Because if crap hits the fan in the second half and we're seeing this turn to a Wild West shootout, then that could push it to over. But I don't think that's going to happen until the second half at least. I think both teams start this game slow, and I think both teams kick a good amount of field goals early on.
So you like the field goal props?
Yes, I always love the field goal props.
Well, you guys know where I gotta go. So you know where I got to head out tonight too. But I appreciate you having me on. I guess this is our last time. This is our goodbye for the season. That's right, poker.
Yeah, NFL shuts down. It's too long, dude. It's like a melancholy time. It's not really.
Oh, I'm really sad. I hope I get to come on next season and see your beautiful faces again. And
yeah, we're gonna miss these streams, guys.
We can all talk again in August and make our predictions. And when Cincinnati when they are getting their rings handed to them, their first game, we make sure we go live then. Okay.
Okay. If the Bengals win, I will eat all the crow for that.
The problem is, if the Bengals actually win, I'm not going to talk to you guys until next season. So you're going to have a good, 5 months?
just to prepare arguments. I think we're losing Lawson.
I won't forget it though. That's for sure.
Lawson, can you hear us?
Is he gone?
We got frozen Lawson right now.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Oh, he moved.
There
Oh,
he
he
is.
froze again.
There he is.
So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
There
they're
he
going
is.
in and out,
Sounds
bro.
good. All right,
All right, guys.
I'll see you guys.
Thank you for a great year.
I'm gonna have to get off.
All right. See y'all next
see you
year.
next.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it's been great. All right.
Thank you for contributing. You guys are awesome. You guys came on the whole year, so it's fucking awesome. Appreciate it. I'm trying to get the Gematria guy out. Trying to get him on. He sent me an email. He hasn't responded. But at the very worst, if I could get him on for a separate video, I would be fine with it. If anyone's got any last player props they want me to talk about, feel free. It's been a great year. Appreciate everyone. Super Bowl should be fun. Where's the Gematria guy? Dude, J-Sup, you weren't here earlier. You don't even want to know. Like Gematria is when they talk about numbers and like the 6th day of the year and all that stuff, and they say like it makes a difference. So yeah, that's yeah. Here we go. Yeah, dude. Stafford MVP chances. Like Alex, what's up, Alex? Too. First of all, what's up, my guy? It's just Stafford MVP chances. Listen, I think Rams win the game, so I'm not going to snub my nose at it. But I for some reason, I'm feeling Von Miller or Odell to come in with a surprise. But yeah, it really should. It really should be Stafford if he doesn't play bad. All right, guys, I got to get off. My internet is failing. Hit the like button, subscribe. Go check out all the videos. I did a player prop, game prop. I have like 4 money picks in them. Go check those out if you got any questions. Let's get this money. And J-Sup, I gave you a shout out earlier on the show too, again, with the over 5.5 sacks. Gave you a shout out. That is the game prop to back. Over 5.5 sacks total in the game. Let's get this money. Have a great Super Bowl.